Hi, I'm Ellenee. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go for a walk along the river, and I thought I'd bring you along and get you caught up in some updates. There's been a lot happened. Today is now July 27th. My last video I posted was from June 20th. I ended up taking some time off from filming as I had more videos filmed than I had edited, and I was feeling very overwhelmed, so I decided to take a break from filming and just work on editing. I just posted my last video I had filmed, and so it's time to start filming again. It's going to be a little hard to get used to again. There was a couple things that happened when I wasn't filming. I was like, oh, I should have filmed this. But I'm excited to get back to it, and I am getting more comfortable with editing, so I'm still learning. A couple of the videos, the audio is not the greatest, but I did watch a video by another creator, and she went through how she works her volume, and so that was helpful, and so I was able to do that on the last video, so hopefully it sounds better. So we're going to go on the river walk, and there does look like there's other people here, so I'm not sure how much I'll be talking along the way, but I do have some updates, especially about meeting with the second surgeon. Okay, and we'll get to it. This is the Bald Eagle Valley Trail, the BEVT. This is just a small section of it. There is a grant for them to finish it. They just haven't started it yet. If you go the whole trail, it ends up at a bridge, and if you cross the bridge, it will tell you, there's a sign explaining that about the trail and when it'll be finished. And I'm not even sure if they started working on it. I haven't been up that way in about a year, so I'm not certain. I switched to my chest mount to do the walk. I was going to use the selfie stick, but it felt a little awkward walking with it. Plus, there is about 3 other vehicles here, and so I wasn't sure if I would run into anybody. So it just figured it'd be easier to use the mount I have. It goes on like a vest. I got it off of Amazon. So during the breaks from not filming, I was able to get videos edited, watch videos on editing. I also worked on revamping my query letter for my book and adding in some information that I had not thought about putting in before. Largely, I've been marketing the book as a memoir, but it's more involved in that. It's kind of a memoir and research paper combined. I have a chapter on just pastors. I have different podcasts, information from podcasts that I had watched and listened to. So it's a lot involved. So I wanted to make sure that was in my query letter. So they know it's not just a memoir, it's not just my life experience. I also wasn't thrilled with my subtitle, so I put a few sentences of information in Microsoft 360. That's the AI system we're allowed to use at work. And it came up with some ideas, possible subtitles. The one I thought was absolutely perfect. It's the abuse that women are taught not to see. So the full title working title is Groomed, the abuse that women are taught not to see. So I thought that was absolutely perfect. So the corn is growing pretty well here in north central Pennsylvania. Some of the Amish have been selling corn already, but I don't think that's local corn but the local corn should be coming here soon, probably maybe early to mid-August. So it'll be nice to have. A friend of mine shared with me her Mexican street corn recipe, so that'll be exciting to try. So on the 17th of July, I had the appointment with the surgeon at University of Pennsylvania Hospital. My appointment was at 10:30. I was on the road roughly around 5:30. It only takes 3 hours and 15 minutes to get down there. But because of past experience, I know that the traffic can get crazy. So I try and give myself plenty of time to go. I'm glad I did. There was construction in spots on the way down. And bumper traffic on 76, which happens on a regular basis. But I was able to get down there about 45 minutes before my appointment. Got to meet with the doctor. There was a question of why I had the referral to him and not Dr. Kovac, who was my co-surgeon. But my referral was specifically for Dr. Fisher, so that's why I saw Dr. Fisher. But to make a long story short, I'm not going to be having surgery. Give you a peek of the river. This is the Susquehanna River. Another creator I follow, Midlife Anti-Crisis. She just got back from a trip to Canada, but she drove right through my area. Actually, she stopped at a rest area that I'm very familiar with. It was one I used to stop at when I lived in Harrisburg. So it was fun seeing some of the familiar sights. So I'm not going to have surgery. He evaluated the hernia, looked over my my CT. Hi, it's editing, Ellenee. I just realized in editing the video that it cut off a lot sooner than what I thought it did. And I just wanted to finish the sentence. I'm not going to be having the surgery, as I said. The doctor reviewed my CT scan from May and the Cleveland Clinic surgery notes from 2021. And after discussing it with me, he asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him that although I do have a lot of pain, I've had pain for years now, since 2009, so I'm pretty used to having pain. It's just the way of life now. But my biggest concern was with this economy that I could not afford to be off on medical leave. I could really lose my apartment if I had that happen. And so after reviewing the CT, he doesn't feel like sorry, I'm trying to get in the right middle here. He doesn't feel that my hernia is in a location where it would be obstructed, which is the biggest concern with hernias. Even though my colon is involved, the colon is not obstructed. So he thinks that it should be okay. So I don't have that worry. Also, due to how complex my surgery was at the Cleveland Clinic, he's very concerned about having the surgery done and finding issues that they're not aware of. Because of the amount of surgeries that I've had 9 abdominal surgeries. It's very likely that I have adhesions, which would just complicate the surgery more. So at this point, he seems to think it's okay not to repair the hernia. He's also concerned about the size, which this hernia is smaller than the one I had had removed in 2020. So, but he wants to see me back next year. So that's good, because that was really a big financial concern, was being off, especially with the cost of living and things nowadays. It was just a lot of stress. So that's where we're at with that, and I'll let you get back to the rest of the video. Thank you. Okay, I was talking and I looked down and found out that the screen went black. So I'm not sure where it cut off at. So one of the things I was saying is I'm finding that the shorter videos are easier to edit. And so I think instead of filming several times a week and then sticking them in all in one video, I'm going to just post them separately and still do one video a week. But make them shorter. I had a couple that were over an hour. And that way, if I film 3 videos in a week, that's 3 videos that I can post one a week for the next 3 weeks. That way I'll always have a video to post. Okay, we reached the 1 mile mark, so I'm going to turn around. Good. Another good look at the river. Looks like there's a trail down there. One of the videos I plan to post is a meal prep video. I did a recipe 2 weeks ago. It's a Mediterranean lentil dish, and it turned out really well, so I'm going to make it again for this week. My second son likes to stay Sunday into Monday. My youngest and my oldest as I've said before, they usually like to go up to their dad's on Sunday. That gives their dad a full week with them. And then he will pick up my second son Monday afternoon after he gets off of work. So Sunday nights, since it's just the two of us, we've just been eating leftovers. So it doesn't, I don't have as much food that I have to worry about finishing before it's time to make something. So I have probably maybe 1 or 2 meals of leftovers that I can use. And then I'll be making this other dish. So that will be another video. And then I was saying too, I plan on filming at Walmart on Sunday morning. I'm not exactly sure what time. I've never seen anybody film at our local Walmart, but I do know that I've seen videos of people filming at the Walmarts around the country, so I don't think it'll be an issue, but I figured if I go earlier in the morning, it'd be a lot easier to film. And then Sunday afternoon, as soon as the boys come, we're going to go on an overnight trip. We're going to go just across the border into New York and just do an overnight. I'm going to get tickets for a local museum up there. And then the tickets are good for 2 days. So when I was researching, it said that a lot of people will go and just do the museum the one day, and then they offer projects that you can do at the museum. So a lot of people come back the following day to do the projects. My youngest son, I went to this museum with a friend in July, and he really liked it, so we're gonna check it out. And then that will be kind of our vacation, as with this economy, a lot of my overtime is going to catch up with bills and food. I did start going back to the food pantry just because, and trying to get the bills all paid. Sometimes that doesn't leave a lot of room for food. So we decided to go back to the food pantry. And then for the most see it, but up there is 220, Route 220. Must be 6 o'clock. But she said she was, as long as we have overtime available, I'm going to take advantage of it. We hadn't had overtime for about 2.5 years. So definitely going to take advantage of it. The most I did in 1 week is 20 hours, which I said in another video I would never do that, but the week after the 4th of July, we weren't going to have any overtime available the 4th of July. You could work extra hours, but because of the holiday, it would just be straight time. And the overtime is what's been keeping my head above water financially. So the week after the 4th of July was a week where the boys were at their dad's, so I took advantage of it and worked 20 hours that week. And I think my supervisors figured out what I'm doing, because I won't take full PTO off, because if I take PTO, that drops the overtime to straight pay. And so if I take a day off during the week, I've been making up for it on the weekends. which is nice. This is the last full month before the boys go back to school. My younger two, and then my oldest actually starts back to college on the 17th of August. He'll be a sophomore. So this will be, even though I'll be working, I'll still be at home. So I can try and set my hours up that I can work while my oldest is at his job, unless he's working the night shift. That I'm not allowed to work past 7 p.m. because of the shift differentials. But I can otherwise try and get it where there's some time where 3 of us will be able just to hang out. But once this next pay is over, like I said, we're going to go for an overnight trip. Going to check into getting a payment plan set up for Universal. My second son is graduating next year, 2027. And so we're talking about doing a trip to Universal as his graduation trip. My oldest graduated in 2024. We had done a trip to Disney. I had saved back some money for us to go. So I didn't realize at the time Disney also offers payment plans, but I didn't know that when we went down. I was able to take advantage of a website called Tickets at Work that my company is part of. And so we did get discount tickets. We decided to stay off property, but since found there's a lot of advantages staying on property. So there's this travel agency that works directly with Universal where you can set up a payment plan. They just ask for $50 down per person, and then after that you can plan how you want things to go from there. So once this coming paycheck and we have our little trip, I'll start setting aside money for that. I want to do kind of a deep dive into the agency, check their reviews, and see what happens. They also have a YouTube channel, so thought maybe I could check and see if they have any videos on their payment plan. And then the plan is you have to have it finished, I think 90 days, 60 or 90 days before your trip. I had to lower the camera down. I came across some people. It's actually people I know, but I don't think they remember me, but that's okay. The last couple times I've been on this trail, nobody has been on here. So it's surprising running into other people. So what I was saying is you have to have it paid for about 60 to 90 days before your trip. And so the plan is to use my tax return for whatever still needs covered. And then I know when we went to Disney, I had gotten some gift cards ahead of time. I'm not sure. I have to look around and see if I could get Universal gift cards ahead of time. That worked out really well, especially with the boys, because I gave them each spending money, and I just stuck it directly on the gift card so they were able to just use the gift card to make purchases. So, did end up having to use the credit card for a few things while we were down there, because just like most vacations, you think you got everything planned, and then you realize there's something you missed. But the last time we went down, we took the auto train from Virginia. We drove to Virginia, picked up the auto train, and took the Amtrak auto train down to Florida. And then we drove the whole way back. But the boys really are interested in flying down, so I'll have to see if that's something I can build into the payment plan. I'm 52, so I've been seeing a lot of things for AARP, which includes discounts. So thought maybe I'll look into that before we leave and see what discounts I can take advantage of. One of the things I have to do this week is check my query letter email. I haven't checked it for about 2 weeks. I don't think there's going to be anything because I really haven't sent anything out for a few months. I had pretty much exhausted my literary agent list, so I need to put together a new list. Most of them, if they don't contact you directly, they'll tell you that if you don't hear from them in 8 weeks or so, they're not interested. I think the longest I saw was 12 weeks, and it's been longer than that since I sent out any letters. I highly doubt there's anything there, but I'm going to go ahead and look, and then I'll attach it to this video. I think I'm going to try making a query literary agent list off LinkedIn, and then I use Query Tracker to track the query letters I send out, and that does it for me automatically once I load them into the Query Tracker. So that's a helpful tool. Seems every time I turn around, there's people talking about books that they are writing. Some of them sound like they've already had literary agents, or they were approached directly by a publisher, that does happen sometimes, especially individuals that have huge followings on social media. A lot of times they'll get contacted directly to write a book from the publisher. So it looks like there's people coming up on bikes, so I'm going to be lowering the camera here soon. I just realized I should have turned on my fitness tracker on my phone before I started walking. But, oh well. I know I did 2 miles. I can just add it later. Another thing I'm doing this weekend is the Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, the first Friday or first Saturday. I think it's the first Saturday. So that'll be fun. I'm going with a friend, but if she's okay with me filming, I may film parts of it. Thank you for coming along with me on the BEVT Trail, Bald Eagle Valley Trail. Thank you for coming along with me on the Bald Eagle Valley Trail. I'm gonna about head out and go to Walmart and get a few things for the week. I hope you all have a good night. Like I said, I'm gonna attach another video to this one, so I'll close it out on that video. But thank you so much for coming along with me. There was a lot more people here than normally. Usually I don't see anybody, but I had to put the camera down a few times. But that's okay. It was nice to just chat and walk along this beautiful trail. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hi. Just wanted to check in. Today's Tuesday, July 28th. I wanted to check my literary agent email. Like I said yesterday, I don't know if anything actually came in. It's been a little while since I sent out any query letters, but I wanted to check, and I decided to get on before pressing the record button because the last time it took forever to load. The only thing I have is the same newsletter I've been getting. So, and nothing in my promotions. So nothing yet. I'm very much a pen and paper person, so I do use a query tracker for to keep track of the query letters and such, but I also use a notebook, and I've pretty much exhausted, I'm not going to show you too much because I don't, but you can see like a lot of little swirls and X's and things that have crossed out and dates that I sent my letters. So this list has been exhausted, so I need to put together a new list. I think I'm going to use LinkedIn first, and then maybe if that is not extensive enough, go in the query tracker and do another search. What I normally do is I get names of literary agents and write down some information about them, and then I'll go directly to their website to see what their process is for query letters. Some people like to go straight through query tracker. Some people want to be emailed directly. Some people have a form that needs filled out. So I usually go to their website to get the specific details on how to send the query letter. I think I'm going to revamp my current one again. There's a paragraph in there. I'm not too certain if it's actually needed. It's a time-sensitive paragraph, and since it's taken a while for me to find a literary agent, I don't know if it's really necessary to have in there anymore. So I'll probably take that out, but the goal is to get a list compiled in probably the second full week of August, when the boys go back with their dad, I'll actually start sending out letters again. So hopefully with the subtitle change and the query letter changes, hopefully I'll be able to get somewhere with that. I did read a book written by a literary agent, and I think I might go ahead and send her one, and it wouldn't hurt to see what happens. She does say in her book that she gives authors feedback, so it would be helpful, even if she says no, just to get some feedback for information that I can use to help me on my search. So that's it with the book, and I just wanted to add in, yesterday I forgot to mention about my health coach. I was going to, and then I ended up seeing people coming towards me, so I ended up not filming. So I'm currently not using the health coach. She was very good. It was just in the planning of things, knowing at that point in time I still thought I was going to need to have surgery. And so trying to plan for upcoming surgery, working full-time plus the overtime, working my second job, taking care of the boys, just a whole lot going on that I wasn't really able to implement any of the ideas that she gave me. I've since I found out I wasn't going to have surgery, I did some research and I tried out my Net Diary, and I really like it. It seems very easy to use. I'm just using the free version. And I like the scan-in option. And so I've been tracking 10 days now, so that's really good. I'm not really using the calorie suggestion as much. Depending on who you listen to, some say with calories when you're older and you're in perimenopause or menopause, the calories in, calories out approach doesn't really work. I've been mainly using the app to keep track on what I eat and my macros. I'm really trying to keep the protein up and just kind of get an idea of where I'm at eating level-wise. If I go over the calories in a day, I'm really not too concerned. I work out 2 weight training sessions per week. I walk every day. Today is Tuesday. I actually had a weight training session in the morning. I walked. I did squats on my lunch break because it was pouring down rain. And then I did a 16-minute walk after supper. So I am pretty active, so I'm not too concerned with that. I think a lot of my issues with my weight is, I mentioned this in a previous video, in 2024, I went to see a functional medicine doctor, and she did a boatload of blood work. And I was very nutrient deficient, so I think the first thing I need to do is work on getting the needed nutrients out. So I have a list of what I'm low in and what supplements I need to purchase. So because finances are still tight, I think I'll just purchase like one supplement per pay until I can get where I need to be. So hopefully once that happens, I can start losing the weight. I've done a 3-day fast in the past and lost absolutely nothing. So I think it's just my body is holding on to weight until I'm at a nutrient level where it feels safe to start shedding some of that extra weight. I've seen videos of people in their 50s losing weight without GLP-1s, so I'm hoping I can do that. I have nothing against GLP-1s. If somebody is able to use it, that's great. My insurance will not cover it, and there's absolutely no way I could afford it. I'm also concerned about some of the side effects that can occur. It seems on a regular basis there's a new study coming out where there's another side effect. So with already having health issues, I just don't want to put anything else in my body that can cause more health issues. So that's where we're at with the health coach. She was very nice. She said, when life kind of calms down a little bit more, she'd be glad to pick it up again. So I just need to let her know when I'm ready. So I have some resources she gave me yet that I need to read over. So maybe after school starts, maybe I'll look into starting it again. I mentioned yesterday that the next big thing to start saving for is vacation. But actually, I was wrong. The next thing I need to save for is back to school. The boys will be going back. The younger boys will be going back in September, the beginning of September, and my oldest starts back to college. But he's been making his own money, so I think he can be responsible. We don't really charge him for rent or anything. He is willing to help out here and there, but because he is making his own money, I think he's going to be more responsible for getting for his school items and clothes and things. His dad and I both try to have clothes at each house. So, if he could easily purchase clothes to keep at his dad and clothes to keep here. And then I'll take we usually split the boys up on one child. My ex will pay for, and I'll pay for the other. When it comes to school supplies, clothes, I think they're okay on. They might need some pants, but so that will be the next expense before starting to save for vacation next year, which I'm really hoping will be a special vacation because, like I said, my second son is graduating from high school, so I kind of want to make it a fun vacation. So that's all for tonight. This will be ending out this particular video. I am planning on filming a couple other videos this week, but thank you so much for watching. If this is something that you're interested in watching on a regular basis, if you would please like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. This channel is for me to get to know people, to have somebody to talk to, even though there's nobody really here, just talking to the camera on the weeks that my boys are with their dad. And I'm also using this channel to build a community, so it would be easier for literary agents to find me. In this day and age, it seems that majority of the people getting book deals are ones that have a platform, and so I'm trying to build my platform. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a good night.